About my student that I called today. I called him up. I was like, "Man, how you doing?" And I know he doesn't work for Prime no more. So it was good catching up with him, and I was all like, "Man, like I know you've been through a lot of different companies since you left Prime, or a few companies since you left at Prime." I said, "What's some of the things that you found out?" And he told me, he's all like, "Look, man, I love Prime, but one of the biggest problems I have with Prime is now I'm going to have to surrender my CDL." And, I was like, what? I was lost. But let's talk about Thursday Night Live real quick, because I wanted to get to this too before I move on that story. So Thursday Night Live, 7 p.m. You're going to be able to ask real life questions to me and one of my special guests. Maybe I'll have two, one. Somebody will drop in there with me. If not, it'll be me. If you want the real true life answer from a driver here at Prime that works for Prime, then jump into that Thursday Night Live. You will be able to ask us questions. We will be able to answer them. We will be able to voice our opinions. We're not representing the company. Like, we're not going to be able to, what we say, we cannot push on to anyone. We are not influenced by Prime. We do not influence Prime's opinion. It's just some opinions we have and questions that we could answer for you if you may be thinking about coming trucking or coming to Prime. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And drop that driver code, COXDJO. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you can catch the Thursday Night Live. Thursday night, 7 p.m. You write down your questions right now. Start writing down your questions right now. Give us a list of good questions. We will answer them with complete honesty. And like I always say, if we don't know the answer, we might make it up because it might sound good. That's a joke, but back to what we were talking about is he's all like, "Man, I love Prime. Prime's a great company, but if I want to get my manual restriction removed, then I got to surrender my CDL." And that's whenever I was thinking, I was like, man, you have to surrender your CDL. I was like, you got to completely lose it? So we'll talk about February. In February, the new changes took effect, unfortunately. I mean, they were good in a way, bad in a way. It changed up the game a lot. So before, you could have a grandfather or uncle or a friend or whatever have a truck, and they could teach you how to drive it, and they could teach you how to back it, and they could teach you pre-trip, and they could help you out all they knew. They could give you all the information they knew, and then you could go to the DMV and take your test. And you didn't have to go to the school. You didn't have to go to none of that. So you could just go take your test and it was over with. Well, unfortunately, we had the changes happen in February, which cut that out. Because now you have to go to a accredited school, a college maybe that had the right credentials, a company that was certified. You had to jump through some hoops to be able to even have people training in these positions. And for the instructors that have less than 2 years, it made it where they couldn't train no more until they had their CDL for 2 years. And it was kind of, at the start, it was kind of crazy for a minute, because we had lots of trainers and we had them helping us teach students, and there was a lot going on. There was a lot of people out there. Well, you just cut that number in half, pretty much, maybe a little bit less than half, but you cut it down. So that's when we started getting busy, and we were working ourselves to the bone. And at the end of the day, what it is it's that we're making sure that we're filling out like these kind of questionnaires on our students, kind of like a survey, and you got to fill them out once a week. So when you fill them out, you're like, they have questions on there like, Does he understand straight line back? Can he do it by himself? Do you have to walk him by it? Or is he proficient at the skill? So we have to meet these requirements on all these skills. And we have to be able to tell if they understand the skill. If they fully understand it, you have to make a judgment call. Like, you explain it to them, and then ask them questions on it, and you have to be able to say that he understands it. And if you don't meet those requirements, then we have to work on those areas you need work on. So it puts in more work for us CDL instructors, and it gets us to where we have to meet all the standards to get the student ready to test. Without all of these questions, all of these stuff, the criteria being taught and being proficient at it, then you cannot take your tests. So we have to get you up to standards so you can test. You have to understand how to couple, uncouple a trailer. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there. Safe driving, nose turn signals, looks for safety hazards. There's a lot of stuff on there. Prime has been teaching this stuff for a long time, and it didn't change much. It's just now we have a form to fill out, and it's kind of helpful because I can go down the list of the form and say, hey, do you understand this? And I know what I feel that they understand. I'm all like, yeah, I taught them this, so he should understand it. But whenever I go back and ask them, hey, do you understand this? Sometimes they say no. And I'm all like, oh, like I never had somebody say no about this. So I have to go into more detail. So it's made us do a lot more to get you ready for that point. But on the other hand, it's made it where your Uncle Larry, he's a great guy. He has his own truck. He's the owner-operator. He's been running for a long time. Uncle Larry can't get you to the point of testing out anymore. You have to go to a school now because our hands are tied whenever they pass that in February. So now what happens, we have people at Prime that are getting automatic restriction. And whenever they're going to, it used to be, automatic restriction, that ain't nothing. Borrow a truck, go up there and retake your test on a manual. It's easy to do. They'll remove it right then. Or go get a manual car, take it up to the DMV, drive the manual car. They'll see that you can drive a manual, and they will take it off. Times have changed. Times have changed. So in different states, they're requiring you to surrender your CDL. Give your CDL up like you never had it. I don't have a CDL no more. Then they're requiring you to go re-get your permit again. Because guess what? You don't have a CDL no more. And then you have to go to one of the schools, the colleges, the courses, or a company that has manual transmission trucks. And then you're going to have to retest on everything and how to drive that manual transmission. You're going to do everything again to recertify, to re-get your CDL again. It's a brand new CDL, brand new test. It's a CDL without a restriction on it for manual transmission. You're now able to drive with a manual or automatic truck. And the reason that this is important is because whenever you life after Prime, you might have to go to a local company or something like that, or a different company, and they might have manual and automatic trucks. And I know everybody's saying automatics are taking over and manuals are phasing out. You got some companies that's been open a long time and they're not planning on spending the money to buy all these automatic trucks at once. Maybe once a manual truck finally breaks down enough that it's not running no more, they're going to have to buy a new truck. They'll switch it over to automatic. But it hurts right now because whenever he had some job interviews, he's all like, man, I found me some good jobs. I was like, man, this is going to be great. Then I'm in the interview and they're all like, oh, we see that you have a restriction on your license that you can't drive a manual transmission. And he goes, yeah, but I can go take the test on one of y'all's trucks. And they're all like, oh no, it doesn't work like that no more. And that's whenever he found out. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy. He was my PSD student. His trainer rolled the truck And I finished his TNT training. And you know, it's like God works in mysterious ways, because he called me up, told me what was going on, and I immediately said, you know what, I'm going to finish your TNT. So I went and finished his TNT, and he didn't know how to back. He didn't know none of the paperwork, and he only had like 10,000 more miles to do, or 15,000. And I was like, man, that's crazy. You don't know how to back? He goes, my trainer, he would do all the backing. He would do all the paperwork. He told me to just drive. And I was like, he never let you back? He goes, no. And it, like, you know, they say God works in mysterious ways. So I think that there was a reason that his trainer rolled the truck. Like, luckily nobody got hurt in the rollover, you know. But he was put with me for a reason, to teach him how to back and stuff like that. And I feel that I've helped him out a lot. And he told me, he's all like, man, usually whenever somebody tells you, like after the test, you told me, hey, if you ever need anything, then give me a call. He said, usually people are full of it when they say that. Man, that's like, yeah, I said that because it's the right thing to do. I told him, I said, nah, man. I said, that's not how I work. I said, if I say that, I mean it. And he goes, no, I believe you, because you came through for me. And I was like, yeah, I got your back, bro. I got your back. And he was a great student, great guy. I could tell he was an awesome person. So I definitely helped him out. I remember one time on TNT, his dad called me up, or his dad was on the phone with him, and he was like, hey, my dad wants to talk to you. I was like, sure thing, man. His dad was so thankful that I helped him out and all that I've done for him. Like, awesome guy. You know, rest in peace. You know, unfortunately, he lost his dad not too long ago, and I feel for him. And you know, I know it's hard. They were super close. But the thing is, like, you know, life goes on. We got to survive through that. And I hope that he can keep on moving forward. You know, of course he's going to move forward. He's a great guy, but, you know, things happen. And I feel blessed that, like, I was able to get to know him as good as I did, and we did that TNT together. Even though it cost me a lot of money, because, you know, I had my stuff set up for doing PSD. Then I had to go TNT, puts a big gap in how I get paid. So it kind of cost me some money, but the experience of getting him to where he is today is awesome. So if he wants to move forward, even more forward, he has to get that manual transmission, the manual transmission restriction off, so he can drive the manual trucks. And he like he said, he goes, man, I loved everything about Prime. I did everything I needed to do there. They helped me out tremendously. Great people. Everything was great. I can't really complain about nothing, except for having this restriction on my license now, because I got to surrender my CDL. And when you surrender the CDL, that is 14 days. That's 14 days that you're used to making this big truck money. So you're all like, man, I make all this money. That is 14 days that you're used to getting paid every week. Good. Because let's be honest. Us truck drivers, we run, the guys that run hard, and he's one of the guys that runs hard. He hustles. Like, that's 2 weeks worth of pay right there, that he makes great money because he hustles and he runs hard. So that's 2 weeks worth of not getting that money, and you just turned your CDL over, and then you have the stress of taking a test again and having to go through the school again, and you already pretty much know your stuff. You just got to do it in a manual transmission now, which is not a big deal, and it shouldn't be too hard on him. But the thing is, he's all like, that's 2 weeks of me not getting paid. And I understand, and I see where he's coming from, and things have changed, unfortunately. So I just wanted to make this video because I feel like I need to be honest with my subscribers over here, and I feel like y'all really need to know this information. Do your research. I found this out today, and I said, man, I got to get a video out, so I let people know so they will understand that. That's one of the things with coming to Prime, is we don't have as many manual trucks anymore. I don't know how many manual trucks are still in our fleet, and I don't know how many manual transmission trainers we still have in the fleet. I don't have a restriction, and I know a lot of us don't have the restriction, but you know, it is what it is. We don't have the truck to teach you how to drive the manual. Now, Prime does have a course that you can take here at Prime, but like I said, it's going to be a new permit. It's going to be a new permit, and you pretty much got to surrender your CDL, and you will take the you'll take the training at Prime again, and they will teach you how to drive a manual transmission. We have that option for you. I think that you would have to get with the training department or your fleet manager if you want that removed. I think that it would be a pretty good ideal. I feel it would be a pretty good ideal that once because you don't have the stress of driving the truck as much, and you know how the business works, and you know that you're fully committed to it. I think before you leave Prime, I think it would be a good ideal to go ahead and, you know, get a permit and get that restriction removed. I believe it would be a great ideal before you leave, and it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you 2 weeks worth of work, but I think it's worth it to go ahead and come back into the training department and start learning how to drive that manual transmission and getting that off of your license. I would definitely look into it. Highly recommend it, especially after talking to one of my old students today. Like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me some comments down there. Let me know what you feel like about this. I would like to know some of your opinions and see what others. Drop in the comments what states do what to your CDL whenever you have to get the restriction off. If you have any information on getting the restriction off, drop it in the comments, please, and let me know if you did that before February or here recently. That way I know if in which states what's the correct answer to this big problem we have. Like I said again, like, comment, and subscribe. Today is Wednesday, so I will see you tomorrow on Thursday Night Live, 7 p.m. Definitely write down some questions, and let's get those questions answered.